called the Honeycomb, and it's kind of similar to this process in that you have this paper, your ruler, your pencil, and then you can use two different colors, marker, black and a color, or black and gray, or you can use a pencil. You pick, but you're still going to fold on that diagonal. I'm going to come here, and this is called the Honeycomb, okay? And I'm going to fold here, and then I'm going to fold it in half. And again, remember, we are just folding so that we can get this as even as possible, especially if you don't have a straight edge. And when we do our final, we'll measure everything out. So I'm going to fold again, and then I'm going to fold again, so that once when I open it, I get that checkerboard, but I get it on a diagonal. Now I'm going to take my pencil, my ruler, and of course, if you don't have a ruler, you can just draw the lines on those folds, but make sure they go from edge to edge. Try to get them as even as possible. Again, this is practice. I'm just getting used to these techniques. So then I have that, and I'm going to do the same thing. Sometimes if you can't find your folds, I can see that this point and this point, if I line them up, that's going to give me that checkerboard. Same thing, this point and this point at the edge, it's going to do the same thing, that point and that point, and you'll see that that should match up pretty evenly with your folds. So this gets me here for my honeycomb pattern. And this is where it can get a little tricky, because we're going to erase most of these lines, okay? When it comes to the honeycomb, it can be just a little bit tricky for that reason. So I'm going to start here, and I'm going to take this line and I'm going to draw my line from here to here, here to here. So I have that diagonal, okay? But then on my next line, I'm not going to start, see how I started at this point? I'm gonna shift it. And there, I'm gonna go from there to there, to there, to there. So you see, it's creating like these octagons. And all that I've done is I've kind of shifted it over one. So here, since I started there, I'm going to start here. I'm shifting it over. See? I'm doing that kind of zigzag lines. Then, because this is down, this one's going to be up because I'm shifting it. This is the hardest part of the honeycomb. But it sure does look good when it's done. Since that's up, right, I'm going to shift it over one. Up, so I'm going to shift it. Okay. And then you should have something that looks like this. Now, I'm going to add my next one. I'm going to come here and I'm going to follow that path so that I make it a little bit more 3D, like that. And I'm going to do that. So it's like you're just making that line bolder. And I'm using those lines as my guide. So all you're doing is making those lines. bolder. Okay. Now this is where I said we're going to erase most of this, because this is where it can be a little confusing and you want to make sure that you get it right. So I'm going to take my paper and I'm going to turn it on the sides that this line, this type of a diagonal, is going to be black. And every diagonal that goes in that direction will be black. You'll also see that it'll be like skip, black, skip, and then see that one goes on that angle. So I do that one black. And what I mean is like this one goes this way and that one goes that way. So all the ones that are going that way are going to be black. That one goes the other way, so I leave it. But this one goes this way, same direction. So I color it black. That one goes that way, so I leave it, and then this one goes this way. And again, you'll notice a pattern of like every other one. That one goes there, so I leave it, but this one comes this way, so I draw it. White, black. Skip. Okay. And then there's this little one right here. Okay. Then I've done this row, I come here and I see that one goes there. So I fill that in. Skip. I hope you can see the pattern now. Skip. And I'll try to simplify these the best that I can. Some people could probably just look at the image and figure it out. And some people need the step-by-steps. And for some people, the step-by-steps more confusing. It's a lot easier for them to just draw it by looking at the final picture. Just remember to keep that pattern going. I missed one. Yeah. And you see you kind of have like this zigzag line. That's forming. Okay. And I hope I didn't miss one, but if I did, I'll come back and catch it in just a minute. And so now I'm going to come in and I'm going to finish these. Look, I missed this one right here. And I'm going to finish these diagonal lines. So it goes black, gray, and you can use any kind of color. You could, you know, do this as black with your pencil, and this is just like a more blended pencil, and that will work too. You could do it with cross hatching, like color, maybe doing the black one solid, and then this one that I'm coloring in gray. Maybe you do those with just like a vertical or a horizontal line. But I'm just connecting it now. So that zigzag is going gray, black, gray, black, gray, black. And again, on our final, we would be measuring all this out and marking our colors, but this is practice. I'm connecting those zigzag lines. And this is like that last one that I showed you with the 3D black sauce. If you just focus on that one task, you can get it. And try not to look at the whole thing. Just look at each section and see the pattern. Otherwise, you could confuse yourself. We don't want that to happen. Okay. So now I have it so that it's alternating gray, black, gray, black, gray, black, gray, black. Right? Now, this is the last step. Everywhere where they're close together, you draw the line. Everywhere where they're far apart, you leave it blank. So where they converge, I draw. And you'll see the pattern. So big, leave blank. Small, where they're converging, draw the line. Blank, line. Blank, line. Blank, line. Blank, line. Okay? Blank, line. 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 Right, so you only want to draw those lines on the smaller places. And then you can come in with your eraser. And erase those lines. Look at that. Now you have your honeycomb pattern. Hopefully you can see where it looks like this is on top. That's an edge, that's an edge. That's on top, that's an edge, that's an edge. And there's your honeycomb.